Michael in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Michael, what's on your mind?
Oh, hey, Tom. I don't think anybody's ever talked about this, but stagflation is pretty much the Republicans' fault. I mean,
You're
housing
talking
was
about in the
overpriced.
1970s?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because housing was over. I did research on it on Vistapedia. Housing was overpriced because there wasn't enough condos and duplexes to compete with the housing business. Energy was overpriced because there wasn't enough nuclear power and hydroelectric dams.
Well, energy was
Compete with oil and
overpriced
coal.
because the Arab oil boycott. It quadrupled the price of oil.
Well, yeah, but but France has a great nuclear power system, and the oil shortage that affected them barely.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. Yeah, you're right. It didn't consequentially affect France, although the nuclear energy may well someday. Yeah, they're even France now is starting to try to wean themselves off nuclear power. Recognizing that that was a big mistake. But what's your point? What's your point, Michael? What did the Republicans do?
Well, anyway, one more thing. The reason why cars wouldn't be a major issue in the 70s if we had a rail system for public transportation, as well as electric trolleys for urban public transportation.
Sure.
And this is all infrastructure related. And who blocks infrastructure spending? Fiscal conservatives.
Right. Right. In all cases. And by the way, this is not new. Back in the 1920s, as I recall, not that I was around, but as I recall reading the history, Los Angeles had the most sophisticated mass transit system in the United States. And by the way, in the 1920s, the New York subway system was largely built as it is today. So, LA had a hell of a system. They had, rail all over that city. And Goodyear and General Motors went to them and said, privatize your subway system, or your transit system is mostly above the ground light rail. Privatize your system, your public transportation system, sell it to us, and we will radically improve it. And so the city fathers of Los Angeles said, okay, cool, privatization is a good thing. This is what Warren Harding ran on in 1920, less government in business, more business in government. In other words, deregulate and privatize. And they privatized it to GM and Goodyear. These two companies ripped up all the rail tracks. They shut it down, and in order to promote the use of cars, which makes a certain amount of sense. They were actually charged with criminal conspiracy in doing that, and they were convicted of criminal conspiracy for doing that. But for a long, this corruption of the public good for $1, which is essentially what the Republican Party stands for, has been going on for a long, long time. And I don't know if there was a partisan breakdown to the decision that was made in Los Angeles to privatize their metro system, their public transit system or not, but it did enormous damage to Los Angeles for multiple generations, which is why I keep saying, beware. But anyhow, yeah, Michael, it's and right now, I mean, Michael, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. And right now, I mean, a couple of days ago, we had a rumble. It was yesterday. A rumble on no, it was the day before yesterday on the TV show, and one of the conservatives was like, "Have you looked at the economy lately? The economy really sucks. That's Obama's fault." And I'm like, "Oh, you're a Republican. You're bragging." Because when the Republicans talk about how bad the economy is, and, it's got its problems, when Republicans talk about that, they are bragging. Here, all the things that we've prevented President Obama from doing that would make the economy better. Right? Remember Mitch McConnell?
My number one job is to make Obama one-term president.
Obstruct, obstruct, obstruct. Delay, delay, delay. Deny, deny, deny. This is what they do. We'll be back.